Hi, good day. This is the Group 8, and our topic is all about psychological aspects and investment decision. But before that, I will give you a short summary of our topic today. So, the finance and investment decisions for some decades in the past based on the assumptions that people make rational decisions and unbiased in their prediction about the future. So, the modern portfolio theory, as well as the other theories such as the CAPM and APT, is presented in the last reporter, was developed following these assumptions. But we all know that sometimes people act in obvious irrational way and they do mistakes in their forecasts for the future. Investors could be the case of irrational acting too. For example, people usually are risk averse, but the investor will take the risk if the expected return is sufficient. Over the past decade, the evidence that psychology and emotions influence both financial and investment decisions became more and more convincing. So, in this chapter, um, some important psychological aspects and characteristics of investors' behavior I will discuss. What is psychological investment? It refers to the mental and emotional factors that influence an investor's decision making process when it comes to buying, holding, or selling investment. This includes a range of cognitive biases and emotions that can impact an investor's perceptions, attitudes, and behavior. So, in short, uh, psychological investment involves biases, emotions, thoughts, patterns that can affect how investors make choices. So, often leading to decisions that are not purely based on logic and data. So first is overconfidence, and it causes people to overestimate their knowledge, risk, and their ability to control events. The state of being excessively confident in one's ability or judgment. So in short, overconfidence is when someone believes they know more, better, or can do more than they actually can. So investing, overconfidence can lead to making risky decisions based on false sense of understanding or control. So first is excessive trading. Overconfidence investors may believe they can time the market, frequently buying securities. So investors often think they can predict market um, movements better than others. This leads them to buy and sell stocks frequently, trying to time the market for maximum profit. However, this excessive trading can actually hurt their returns. They may end up paying more in trading fees and missing out on long-term growth by constantly jumping in and out of investment. So next is ignoring expert advice. So dismiss advice from financial advisors or analysts believing they have superior knowledge. So overconfidence investors often believe they know more than experts. So they might disregard advice from financial advisors or analysts. So they might think they have a better understanding of the market or a specific investment, so leading them to make decisions that could be risky. So next is taking um, taking an excessive risk and investing in high risk speculative assets. This can result in significant losses if the investment doesn't pan out. So overconfidence can lead them to take on excessive risk by investing in high-risk speculative assets. This, ma- the, this investment could potentially offer high returns. They also come with a greater chance of losing money. So overconfidence investors might over or underestimate the potential losses and be unprepared for the consequences. So, how to mitigate the negative effect of overconfidence? First is recognize your own biases. So, be aware that you're not immune to overconfidence. Question your assumptions or review your assumptions. Second is diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spreading your investment across different assets like stocks, bonds, or real estate can help reduce your risk. Third one is seek professional advice. So, consult with a qualified financial advisors because they can provide objective insights and help you make informed decision. Fourth is set realistic expectation. So don't expect to get rich quick. So investing is a long-term game. So there will be an up and down, but we are pursuing to aim for consistent and sustainable growth. So last is very important. Learn from mistakes. So everyone makes mistake, but overconfident investors often don't learn from it. So analyze your past investment decisions and identify areas where you might have been overconfident. So this can help you avoid repeating the same errors in the future. So overall, yeah, conclusion of it is by understanding the impact of overconfident and taking steps to counteract it, investor can make more rational decisions and improve their long-term investment outcome.
My topic is all about the disposition effect. Disposition effect is a behavioral bias in investing where investors tend to hold on to losing investment for too long and sell winning investment too quickly. This is contrary to the rational investment strategy of selling losing investment and holding into winning ones. So in other words, this is a high behavioral finance bias where the investor irrationally hold into losing investment or lose aversion and prematurely sell winning investment or fear of missing out. So ang kaning loss aversion kay kanang pag-iwas na mapildi ka. So mao ni siya ang mga investor kay mahesitate sila nga magbaligya sa ilang losing investment kay nagaasa pa sila nga kanang mabawi pa nila ang ilahang kwarta. So gina-hold nila, wala nila ginabaligya bisan kabalo sila nga kanang pildi na sila ba niya na good. So ang kani pong isa is fear of missing out kay mausad ni sila ang mga investors quickly sell winning investment to lock in profit. For example aning disposition effect kay ang investor A is nagbuy siya og stocks at $10. It falls into $80 instead of selling. And then ang investor A hold on hoping it will rebound. So kanang ang investor A kay kanang ginahold gyapon niya ang kuan ba ang iyahang investment niya kabalo na siya nga kanang it falls into losing good then para kay gahope siya nga kanang napay mabalik sa iyaha. So meanwhile, investor A sells stock Y at $120, which was bought at $100, fearing it up drop. So kanang si investor A kay gisale niya ang stock Y at 120. Mao ni siya ang kanang example sa kaning fear of missing out, kay ginabaligya gibaligya dayon niya ang iyahang kayang daog, kay if ever kanang di niya ibaligya kay mahadlok siya nga kanang ma drop good ma buildy siya. So selling winner too early, fearing regrets. Imagine a stock you bought was doubled in value. You might feel tempted to sell it, fearing that if you hold on, it might drop back down, leaving you might regret. So maotong sa isa nga kanang ang iyang daog is iyaha dayong ginabaligya kay kanang mahadlok siya nga kanang pagsisihan niya pag-abot sa panahon ba. So iya dayong baligya instead of hold niya. The fear of missing out on the potential gain is strong. So mo ni siya jud ang katong sample sa katong fearing of miss out. So example, you buy stock X at $50. It surged to $100. And then seeking pride. Selling a winner early allows you to boast about your successful investment and feel a sense of accomplishment. This pride can out to potential for even greater gain. For example, investors seek a validation and pride from successful investment. Selling a winner allows them to boast about their success, feel a sense of accomplishment, and mitigate fear of loss. So ang example ani niya kay ang investor A buys stock X at $50, sells at $75, boasting about $50 gains while missing potential growth to $100. And then ang holding losing too long is avoiding regret. If a stock is losing value, you might be reluctant to sell it. So you're already in the red, and selling would confirm the loss, causing regrets. You hope that holding on will allow the stock to recover, sparing you the pain of admitting defeat. So, ang parehas tong sa fearing regret kay kanang gakuan pa jud ka, gahop pa jud ka nga kanang imuhang investment is kanang maka-recover pagud siya, andud sa kanang na lang ka nga kanang gina-admit na nimo nga ay bildi na jud ay ko nga na. And then seeking pride, holding onto a loser might seems like you're being stubborn, kanang gahi kay kag ulo ba, kay imo jung gina insist sa mga nahuna nga ay kaya pa ni, maka-recover pa ni, pero kanang di jud ka mo give up ba, kanang gahi jud kag ulo and refusing to give up. You might convince yourself that you'll eventually be proven right, kanang gina-convince jud ni mong sarili nga kanang tama ni akong desisyon, okay ni, kay kanang mo jud na imong iral sa imong sarili. And your stubbornness will lead to pride when the stock finally recover. So katong pagka stubborn nimo, katong pagagahi nimo ulo kay brag katupod ang kanang gahi mo og kanang galid sa imuha nga and the stock is finally recovered kuno ana ma-recover siya. And then ang the problem ani nila kay ang disposition effect leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then ang selling wins too early, you miss out on potential growth and the stock may continue to raise. And then ang holding loser too long kay you lock in losses and may miss opportunities to invest in better performing asset.
So for today, I will be going to discuss to you about the perception of investment risk. So when we say perception of investment risk, this refers to the individual subjective assessment to the uncertainty and potential risks as associated with an investment. So there are seven factors influencing perception. First is the personal experience and knowledge. Second is the risk tolerance and attitude. Third is investment goals and horizon. Fourth is market volatility and trends. And then fifth is information, availability and quality. Sixth is emotional biases and heuristics. And then 7 is influence and peer opinion. There are 7 types of investment risk. First is market risk, credit risk, and liquidity risk, and then operational risk, regulatory risk, inflation risk, and currency risk. So when we say market risk, this is market fluctuations. And then when we say credit risk also, this is default or non-payment. And liquidity risk is difficulty selling right assets. And then operational risk, this is a management or process failures. And then the regulatory risk is changes in laws or regulations. Inflation risk is purchasing power erosion. And then the last is currency risk, is exchange rate fluctuations.
Hello everyone, this is Bea Bianca Villaverpadas from BSBA FM4B. So our report for today is about the consequences of misperceiving investment risk. So the first one is the overinvestment. Pag moingon tag overinvestment, isa siya ka-action or fact nga naga-invest ka og daghan nga kwarta or resources sa usa ka proyekto or enterprise. So the next is underinvestment. Ang moingon po tag underinvestment is nagkagamay ang kwarta, nagales ang money nga magasto sa uban than sa mas kinahanglan niya or could be spent over a long period of time. The next one is poor diversification. Pag moingon tag poor diversification, it is about a failure to include a mixture of different types of investment with different level of risk. Next one is the inadequate risk management. So, inadequate risk management is failing to identify all potential risk areas. So, failing to assess the impact that this risk will have on the project, failing to analyze the probability of the risk, and categorizing this into low, medium, and high. So failing to calculate the threat and exposure of each risk to the project. Next is the missed opportunities. So missed opportunities is a chance that was not taken advantage of and can happen in any areas of life. So they can be big or small, and sometimes we only realized we missed one later. So kaning isa, unnecessary stress and anxiety. So pag makakuan kag consequences is makaagi jud ka og mga ingani, stress, anxiety, karang wala nakakabalon sa buhaton, worst case or mga scenario bisag unsa na lang ang imong mahuna-hunaan. So once nga makaagi ka og mga consequences. So dapat mao jud niyang mahitabo sa imo. So here's the strategies to improve risk perfection. So first is educational and research. When we say educational and research, this is a scientific field that studies education and learning by collecting and analyzing data and evidence. Research can cover a wide range of topics such as student learning, teaching methods, and classroom dynamics. The goal of educational research is to understand how learning takes place and how educational contexts affect learning. So buot ipasabot kinahanglan ni siya or usa ni siya ka mga strategies nga para ma-improve ang risk perfection sa usa ka company. So dapat ka na ay matun-an, so dapat ka kabalo unsa nga task ang imong buhaton para nga ma-improve siya. So next is the diversification and asset allocation. So diversification and asset allocations are both investment strategies that help manage risk and balance return. Next one is regular portfolio reviews. So it is a useful tool for identifying the level of risk in a portfolio and adjust the construction accordingly. So isa siya ka strategy kung gamit kayo siya sa company kay tungod ni ani makabalo ka kung unsa nay nahitabo, kung kailangan pa ba nimo siya i-adjust unsa pay dapat buhaton para ma-improve ang imuhang business or ang isa ka kumpanya. The next is professional advice and guidance. So dapat na kinahanglan gyud ni sa usa ka kumpanya. So, dapat ang mga trabahante or ikaw as a manager sa usa ka company, nagkinahanglan ka og professional advice o guidance para mag-guide nimo kung unsa ang dapat buhaton, ingani ang dapat buhaton para ma-improve or para mulambo ang atong kumpanya. So, next, emotional discipline and objectivity. Kanang emotional discipline and objectivity is kinahanglan gid siya nga ma-implement sa usa ka company kay samot na kon ang isa ka trabahante or for example kauban mo sa isa ka kumpanya maistoryahan ng isa malain, so naanay siya ginatawag nga naanay kalahian sa iyong duha, so maglisod na mo kung unsa inyong dapat buhaton kay naa na may mga dili maayo nga inyong nasinati kay naprangkahan or unsa, so kinahanglan siya nga makontrol ang emosyon, so kailangan siya disiplinahon para nga ang isa ka kumpanya is mulambo siya o kanang na siya padulngan. Ang last is continuous learning and adaptation. So kani siya is kinahanglan ang imong nahibal-an ipadayon nimo kung unsay itudlo sa imuha, maminaw ka kung unsay dapat nga buhaton, unsay dapat nga tun-an, padayon ka nga magtuon kay usa na siya ka strategy para ma-improve ang kumpanya nga imong gitrabahoan o imong ginadumalahan. O kinahanglan kaning word ni adaptation kung unsa ang naa sa sulod sa kumpanya, kung ingani ilang gihimo, kung ingani ilang balaod sa sulod sa kumpanya, ingani ilang pamatasan, ilang ethics, so dapat ma-adapt ka sa ilaha para nga mahimo pud nimo o makatabang ka para mulambo ang sa kumpanya.
Studying perception of risk investment is crucial for number 1, informed decision making. Understanding risk perception helps investors make informed decisions, aligning investments with goals and risk tolerance. Ang usabot sa risk perception makatabang sa mga investor sa paghimo og informed decisions. Paagi sa pag-ilaw kung saan nila pagtanaw ang mga threat sa usa ka investment. Kanina pasabot nga mas makatarunganon ang mga tama nga ilang pagpili sa mga opportunity nga sakto sa ilang investment goals o risk tolerance. Sample, investor A na itaas nga risk tolerance og long-term goals. Tungod kay nasabtan niya nga ang stock market volatility natural lang ug mahimo nga magresulta sa mas taas nga return sa dugay nga panahon. Mupili siya og equity investment. Kaduha, risk management. Recognizing risk perception enables effective risk management strategies, minimizing potential losses. Ang pag-ilas sa risk perception mao ang hinungdan sa epektibong risk management. Ay kini naghatag og mas klaro nga idea nga kung unsaon pag-atubang sa mga risk nga ginaatubang sa usa ka individual o organization. Kung masabtan kung giunsa pagtan-aw sa mga tao ang danger, mas dali matukod ang mga strategy nga less sa potential losses. Example, sa negosyo, kung ang isa ka kumpanya nahibalan nga ang customer nagkabala na kayo kay nabalakan na kayo bahin sa cyber attacks, mahimo silang magpatuman og mas maayo nga cyber security measures ug magpakita og transparency sa ilang protection aron mapabilin ang pagsalig sa public sa investments. Number 3, portfolio optimization. Studying risk perception aids in diversification and asset allocation, maximizing returns while managing risk. Ang sabot sa risk perception kay sa portfolio optimization labi na sa paghimo og decision bahin sa diversification ug asset allocation. Kini nga process nag-focus sa tagi-tagi sa pondo sa lain-laing klase sa mga asset aron maximize ang return samtang ginapungan ang risk. Example, investor A adunay moderate risk tolerance o midterm goals. Kung ang iyang risk perception napakita nga volatile ang stock market, mahimo siya mag-invest og 50% sa stocks, high risk, high reward, 30% sa bonds, low risk, steady returns, o 20% sa cash or money market funds, high quality, low risk. Number 4, investor behavior analysis. Understanding risk perception helps analyze investors' behavior, identifying biases and heuristics. Ang risk perception makatabang sa pag-analyze sa behavior sa mga investors, labi na sa pag-ila sa ilang mga biases o heuristics, mga shortcuts sa pag-decision. Kini importante kay ang mga investors kanunay dili mag-decision based sa rational analysis, kundi mag-base sa ilahang pagbati sa personal nga pauna-una bahin sa risk. Example, overconfidence bias. Kung usa ka investor nagtuo nga maayo kayo siya sa pagpili og stocks tungod kay nakakuha siya og dako nga kita sa usa ka higayon, ang iyang risk perception mahimo masubos kaysa sa tinuod, kay mahimong maadto sa overexposure sa high risk investments. 5, financial planning. Risk perception informs financial planning, ensuring alignment with investor goals and risk tolerance. Ang risk perception daw kayo og papel sa financial planning tungod kay kini nag-guide sa mga decision aron makasiguro nga ang plano fit sa mga tuyo sa investors ug sa ilang risk tolerance. Kung nasabtan kung unsa sa ka-risky o luwas og ang tanaw sa usa ka tawo sa usa ka pamaagi sa pag-invest, mas dali matukod ang usa ka plano nga angay sa iyang personal nga kahimtang. Example, investor nga gusto og retirement fund. Gusto niya maglikay sa dako nga pagkawala sa iyang financial plan. Mahimong mag-focus sa low risk investment sama sa bonds, fixed deposits o index funds. Kini maghatag og stable o reliable nga returns. Investors ay kini hatag og stable returns. 6, investment product development. Studying risk perception helps create investment products catering to diverse risk preferences. Ang risk perception importante sa pag-improve og mga investment products nga angay sa lain-laing klase sa risk preference nga mga investor. Sa pagsabot kung unsaon pagtan-aw sa mga tao ang risk, ang mga financial institution makabuhat og mga produkto nga mo-fit sa mga ilang panginahanglanon o kalipay. Sample, para sa mga low-risk investors. Kung ang mga investor gusto og seguridad sa og stable nga kita, mahimo mag-develop og mga produkto sama sa fixed income bonds, money market funds o capital guaranteed investment nga maghatag og gamay nga risk pero predictable ang returns. 7. Regulatory policies. Understanding risk perception informs regulatory policies protecting investors and maintaining market stability. Ang risk perception daw kayo og tabang sa pag-decide sa mga regulatory policies aron na protektahan ang mga investors ug magpadayon ng kalikon sa market. Kung ang mga regulator kay nakasabot kung saan pagtanaw sa mga tao ang risk, mas dali silang makabuhat og mga policy nga makapaminos sa kadlok, motivate sa pagsalig og malikay ang mga crisis. Sample, transparency og disclosure requirement. Kung ang mga investor na balaka bahin sa kakulang sa informasyon sa market, ang mga regulator kay mahimo magpatuman sila og balaod nga mag-focus sa mga kumpanya nga magpahibalo og klaro nga regular nga impormasyon bahin sa ilang financial status, mga risk o performance. 8. Behavior finance. Studying risk perception contributes to behavior finance research, enhancing understanding of investors' psychology. Ang risk perception dako kayo og tabang sa behavior finance research nga mo expand sa pagsabot kung unsaon pagdesisyon sa mga investors based sa ilang psychology o emotion. Imbis sa puro rational o analysis, ang behavior finance nagtuon kung giunsa ang mga biases, heuristics o personal nga pananaw bahin sa mga risk nakaapekto mga aksyon sa mga investors. Example, fear o greed. Kung ang mga investors makuyawan tungod kay paus-us ang mga usus sa stock market, kasagaran magpanic selling sila bisan pa og mahimo pa untang mobalik ang negosyo sa taas nga moabot pa unta sa taas ang negosyo. Sa laing bahin ay mga dito. 9. Improve communication. Understanding risk perception facilitates clear communication between investors, advisors, and financial institutions. Ang risk perception makatabang sa mas klaro nga communication tali sa mga investors, financial advisors, o financial institutions kung masabtan sa tanan nga partido nga kung giunsa nila pagtanaw ang risk. Masayon ang pag-establish og mutual nga pagsabot o pagplano sa mga financial strategies. Kani kay nagpalambo sa relasyon o naglikay sa mga kalibog o paghadlok sa kasagaran maghatag dili mahatag maayo nga desisyon. Sample, investors o advisor. Ang usa ka investor na ay taas nga risk tolerance o ang advisor makasabot ani mahimo nilang hisgutan ng mga taas nga risk nga mga produkto sa stocks o mga high risk funds. Kung ang mga advisor na kabalo na nga ang investors mas mapanuko sa kalit nga pagkawala, mahimo siyang magbugna og mas balance nga portfolio nga fit sa risk tolerance sa investors. Then, enhance investor education. Studying risk perception informs investors' education initiatives, promoting financial literacy. Ang risk perception nakatabang sa enhanced investor education nga magpalig-on jud sa kaybalo sa mga investors bahin sa mga risk o mga opportunity sa financial nga market. Kung nasabtan kung yun sa pagtanaw sa mga tao ang risk, mahimo nga mas maayo ang pag-design sa mga financial literacy programs nga maghatag og klaro nga impormasyon sa mga investors aron mas mahibal-an nila ang sakto nga mga desisyon sa ilang mga pamuhunan. Ampol, pag-educate sa investors sa risk and return. Kung ang investor nasabtan nga ang taas nga return kasagaran nga may kauban nga mga taas nga risk, pwede silang mag-desisyon nga mag-diversify sa ilang investments aron mapugan ang sobrang risk. Ang edukasyon sa risk return trade-off makatabang sa mga investors na dili magdali og desisyon sa mga base sa kahadlok o excitement. That's all.
Mental accounting and investing. Mental accounting, a concept developed by Nobel laureate Richard Taylor, describe how individuals categorize and frame their financial decision. This can significant impact investment choices. So, ang financial mental accounting and investment. Mental accounting is a concept developed by ang example ani is like income, expenses, and savings or etc. So the second is Taylor studied behavioral economics and financial as well as psychology of decision making, which lies in the gap between economics and psychology. So contribution of Richard Taylor, Nobel Prize winner in 2017, the field of behavioral economics. First is focus of study. Taylor explored behavioral economics and financial, integrating insight from psychology to explain decision making. His work bridged the gap between traditional economics, which assume rational decision making, and psychology, which acknowledgement human bias and economic. Key points. Framing effects. People tend to treat money differently depending on its source and intended use. For example, a windfall might to expend more and freely than money earned from a job. So mas dagan pa daw lang ay for example kining na sila bonus mo lang ginagasto. Second, loss aversion. Investor are more sensitive to losses than gain. This can lead to holding into losing investment for too long, hoping for recovery while selling winning investment too quickly to lock in profits. So loss aversion. Investor feel losses and intensely than equivalent gain. So madlok sila og wala ma-income. Third is diversification. Is a risk management strategy that involves spreading investment or resources across various financial instruments, industry, or other category to reduce exposure to single risk. Ang example yan is investment portfolio diversification. So, last, risk tolerance refer to individual or organization ability and willingness to endure losses to pursue to potential gain. It reflects how much uncertainty or financial risk someone is comfortable taking when decision making, especially in investment. Key aspect of risk tolerant. First is emotional aspect, second is financial aspect, third is time horizontal, and lastly, behavioral finance is a field of study that explore how psychological factor, biases, and emotional influences for decision making. It's a bridge economic psychology and finance to understand why people sometimes make irrational suboptimal financial choices. Key concept of behavioral finances: cognitive biases, second emotional influences, That's all.
Good evening everyone, this is a report of Group 8. Our topic is all about emotion investing. So first is rationalize. Rationalize is recognize the biases inherent in mental accounting and consciously strive to make a decision on objection factors. Ang rationalize means to provide a logical or reasonable explanation for an action, decision, or belief, often to make it appear justify, even if the true reasons are less logical or based on an emotion or bias. It can be used in both positive and negative contexts depending on whether that reasoning aligns with the reality or is used as a justification to cover up irrational or flawed behavior. Example, a student who fails an exam might say the test an unfair rather than acknowledge and they in study no. So the second is long-term perspective. Focus on long-term financial goals rather than short-term impulses. So long-term is refers to the ability to focus on future outcomes and benefits rather than immediate result. It involves making decision or taking action today with on achieving goals, sustainability or growth or on extended period, often years or decades. The characteristic of a long term this is a 5 types. Number 1 is patience, goal-oriented thinking, and risk tolerance. So the third is professional advice. Seek guidance and pro or financial advisor to help develop a sound investment strategy. So professional advice is refers to guidance or recommendation provided by someone with a specialized knowledge, skills, and experience in a specific field. It is sought when making important decisions or addressing complex problems that require expertise beyond individuals' general understanding. Characteristic of professional advice is number 1, expertise provided by the individuals with qualification, training, or significant experience in a particular domain. Example, a financial planner advising on investment or a lawyer offering legal guidance. Emotion in investing. So, familiar naman ng emotion in investing. Misattribution bias predict that people often confuse their current their decision. So, misattribution is refers to cognitive error where a person incorrectly attributes a thought, memory, emotion, or behavior to the wrong source. It occurs when we confuse the origins of our feelings, ideas, or memories, leading to inaccurate interpretations of events of experience. The types of misattribution is number 1 is source misattribution. So, confusing the origin of memory or piece of information. Example, believing you read a piece of news in a quotation journal when it actually when it actually come from a social media post. So lastly is a good mood. A higher probability or positive changes, lower probability of negative changes. That's all.